Good afternoon. It is almost 1 UTC here on Monday, December 16th. So going into Bitcoin and what we're looking at here, just for this current week, the most important thing on the schedule is the interest rate decision. Now, they are still expecting a 25 basis point drop. However, the important thing is the press conference after, because we want to know if Powell's hinting at either continuing rate cuts in the next year, or if he hints at halting rate cuts, given some of the inflation and jobs data that's coming through. So that's going to be really critical, and it'll definitely, especially effectively dictate the end of the year, because this is the last trading week. That's a full trading week before we get into the holidays. On the long short ratio side, I mean, this is awesome. We had the squeeze the upside. We have retail almost 60% short to long. It's looking attractive to potentially continue. We're seeing a little bit of retracement just this morning as the local stuff is, we've got a local failure off of the weekly open, and this is mostly due to a big CME gap below us. The funding rates still relatively mild, slightly bearish, you could say, because it's over 0.01, but in general, still looking rather decent in this zone. And then the liquidity as well. So this is the important thing. We talked about how we're going to squeeze through that upside liquidity. We got it. We created some more structure above us. However, there is some high leverage stuff below us, potentially all the way back down to 96K. That's untested. There's some nice levels to break back down into, but we shouldn't target them until we start losing structure. A little bit lower time frame just to show, the more important liquidity in this area. Like I said, if we do start breaking below the higher lows from yesterday, we could potentially see a sweep back sub 100K, which wouldn't be the worst thing in all reality. Now, looking at Bitcoin itself, I will say that the current move is doing kind of as expected. We're seeing a failure off of the daily weekly open to come back down towards this critical support. So 102.6, this is key support. This is the SR flip, right? Which was resistance that we flipped into support, which then gained to go higher. We're potentially seeing some stuff right here at 103.5, but I really am critical on this level, mostly because below this, we have a CME gap. So CME gaps are where the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for Bitcoin futures basically closes on Fridays and opens back up Monday. So effectively from where you are now down to approximately 101.2K, there is a CME gap, right? There is a CME gap here. And we want to see that held if we break back down to it, fill the gap, grab some of that high leverage liquidity, and then continue. The overall priority is still up. If we do happen to break this 101.2 zone, I would consider that like a major retracement, because then we do have to force a test back below 100K down to about 97 or so to get that full retest of the structure. But overall, the expectation is that we're still going to continue. We got liquidity to go up to 108, and we've got retail super short. You've got some local priority down, but you're just retesting previous high stuff. You're not breaking anything, and it still looks good. Just watch the inflection point at 102.6. If you see the regain back at the daily open, watch for a continuation of the squeeze. As I keep saying, retail is as clockwork, missing the move. So beyond that, one little thing, there's two little projects that I'm looking at. Trio is one of them. This is just because, I know the team. It looks good. It looks attractive and strong to have a really good bull run. We're seeing vertical accumulation. Anytime you see that on an altcoin, it just means people are stepping in to buy at any price. So that's looking strong. Minimum targets, $10. Realistically, 18 to 35 once we get into, cycle tops. Another one, which a friend of mine told me about, that I'm very interested in, is this Griffane. It's very early, but it's a decentralized AI platform. This is something that's relatively new, AI agents, and these things are effectively autonomous software entities that you can have it manage a lot of the different stuff that you're doing while trading. So this is gonna be a huge space. These guys are being backed by the Solana devs, and it's currently like a couple $100 million market cap. I think it goes well over $1 billion this cycle. So keep an eye on those two, and until then, catch you later.